Hey there, folks. So, last episode, we finished off by getting it set up that our AI NPC can now actually see the player character when they're looking at them. And you can see just in the top left there, it's actually just overlapping with the stat bar. We're getting a little on screen message AI saw something, which is what we added. Let me just bring that up. We added that here to our on target detected. So, what we need to do now is actually expand on our TF character base type. So what we're going to do, the first thing we need to do is actually add a new data type in, and that's going to be for our creature type. So go into our C++ classes, project, public, and then we're just going to right click. And I need to fix that and move that to a different location. That's in the wrong place. So we're going to leave this option, right click, new C++ class, leave this as none. We've done this a few times in the past, but I'll repeat everything here. We're going to select our folder. We're going to select the data type folder. And we're just going to call this F creature type. F being the fact that this is going to, no, sorry, not F, E creature type. Sorry, E creature type. It's an enum, not a struct. And we're going to create that class. It's going to pop up here in Visual Studio, and we're going to get the message, do we want to reload? And we're not going to want to reload. We want to close the editor down when things start responding here. Okay, I'm going to move Visual Studio out of the way. So just to explain a little bit instead of just sitting here, what this data type we're adding, this new enum, is it's basically for us to be able to say, okay, this is a prey animal, a carnivore, a zombie NPC, a general human, and then you can have it so that the various different NPC types react to it in different ways. So okay, this is taking a little longer than expected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause, wait for all of this to finish up, and as soon as we're saying that, it finishes up. So Visual Studio has popped up the reload all. I'm just going to wait for this to finish so that we can close down the editor. I want to get everything back in the right place. It annoys me when the content browser's in a weird spot and I can never find it. So either way, I'll pause the video here instead of wasting the limited video time waiting for this to finish, and I will be back once we are set up back in Visual Studio. Alright, so we are back in Visual Studio, and we're going to be doing pretty much the same thing we have done with our other data types. We're going to clear out the general information that gets added in by default, which is the constructor in the header. We're going to get rid of this and include E creature type .h, and we want to change that to generated .h, and then U enum blueprint type enum class E creature type derived from uint 8. And then what do we want to call this? So creature type, I'm just going to put in a few different options here. I'm going to put player, because obviously that is the very first one. Actually, no, it's going to just be a general human. Creature type, small mammal, small animal, small carnivore, medium animal, medium carnivore, and you can probably get the idea of what I'm trying to achieve here. Sorry, I do have this issue of typing and talking. I have some trouble with that, so I'm just going to put a generic monster. So what this is for is basically this is going to say, okay, so this NPC or player character is a human, it's a small animal, it's a carnivore, it's a medium animal, it's It's a medium carnivore, large animal, large carnivore, or a, monster. So, and the reason for this is, again, so you can have certain AI react to other AI in certain ways. Because obviously, if a deer sees, say, a bear, it's going to run away. If it sees a human, it's going to run away. If it sees another deer, doesn't really care. So, and then actually just quickly, for the sake of ease within the editor, let's go through and add in some meta information. Oh, yeah, did do that right. So, human, small herbivore, small carnivore, medium herbivore, medium carnivore, large herbivore. So where I'm thinking at with things like large, not larb, large herbivores would be things like cows, stuff like that. Cows, horses, non-prey, larger non-prey animals. So large carnivore, and then monstrous. So now that we've got this in there, we're going to want to add this to our characters. And because we want that for our player character and all NPCs, just like we did with our stimuli source, we want to add that to the TF character. Now in here, you notice we don't have any data types yet. So obviously we're going to need to include that. So include data type E creature type. So we're going to want to just copy this here. I'm going to want that to be a protected value, actually. So E creature type of creature. So we've got that in there now. By default, I'm going to say E creature type. Yeah, I'm just going to default it to human. Yeah, that's going to work there. Now, with that, what we're going to be doing here, where is our... There it is. We have our AI controller base, and get rid of you. Don't need you anymore. Don't need that open. Don't need that open. So I'm just cleaning up because I've got a lot of stuff in here that are no longer needed. So what we're going to want to do here is add in some logic. Sorry, I was just trying to think how to word this. Some logic on how to respond based on the particular target that was seen. In this case, because it's a site target. So what we're going to do is, we need to add that up here. We're missing an include. So include base class TF character. Because we need to be able to cast back to this to get that information. So if, ATF character pointer as TF char equals cast ATF character actor. If as TF character So what this does here is basically we're saying, okay, we know we've got an actor, but we want to check, is it a TF character? If it is a TF character, sorry, I completely missed something here. We need to add a function to be able to return this. So creature type, U function, blueprint callable blueprint pure, creature type. This doesn't need to be a pointer. Get creature type const, and I'm just going to add this into the header. Return creature type. Return type of creature. Oh, missed the tooltip. Type of creature for AI response. So we have now added in the function to get creature type. So we're going to go back to our AI controller base. We don't need to add an include for this because we added TF character and that is in our header. So I mentioned before, any includes are like a root structure because the AI controller is including the character while the character is including the creature type. We don't need to include it in the AI controller. So creature type is going to be target type equals as TF char get creature type. And this is where you would add logic in for, like, say, switch target type. And you would do that. Or something else you could do, which is actually what I'm going to do here, is going to create a function that is going to return an int. Now this is going to be dependent on how you want to do it. This return type of an int is I'm using to determine probably the best way to describe it is going to be a fear factor. It's like, okay, what is my response to this data type or its creature type? So int get response, get fear response. And we're going to pass in an e creature type, and we're going to leave that and create that definition. So what we're going to do here actually is go get fear response as TF char get creature type. Int response equals. So come on, IntelliSense, let me save. Okay, I'm going to just wait a moment there. So now there's a couple other things we want to do. So we've got onPossess, which already is populating a local variable. And this is one of the reasons I know I didn't really cover that on the episode where we initially created this, but it's part of the reason that we added that. It's a pointer. The memory usage is very minimal. It's not something I'm concerned about. So what we are going to do is in our get fear response, we are going to controlled pawn get creature type. Yep, that's exposed there because it's a child. So e creature actually no, we're going to do this. We're going to switch on that. Now this is something basically it's effectively a state machine or very close to, because you're going to have a switch within multiple switches within a bigger switch. So case e creature type human case E creature type monster, keep those at the top. Case E creature type small animal, case E creature type small carnivore, case E. You get the idea of what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to quickly type these out, and I will be back as soon as I've populated the rest of these. Okay, so now we've got these populated, and this is representing, okay, what is the AI I am using going to do? Sorry, I am possessing, not using. AI I am possessing. What is its, like, how is it seen? So with the human, we're going to go switch, and this is going to be switched off type, and that's the one that's coming in, and this is the enemy AI. So, or sorry, not the enemy AI. This is the visualized actor. Well, if a human, say, let's just go case E creature type human. If a human sees a human, okay, well now you need to think, is it a raider? Are they aggressive? Things like that. So you've got that option. You've got case E creature type monster. Okay, how are they going to handle it? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to populate this entire list with the cases, and I'm going to populate the additional ones as well, just because that's going to be a lot of typing, and it's the same typing. So I will be back in a moment once all that's populated. All right, so I've gone through and got that populated for each of these. You can see we're obviously switching on the type. We've got all of our cases, and I've just added a break statement at the end. It should never hit the break. Each of these should have a return, but it also is a nice fail-safe. And actually, saying all of this, I've actually thought of a much better way to do all of this. So, I'll finish off with what we've got here, because this is one way to do it. It gives you a lot more granular control. And actually, no, I'm going to stay this way. The other way doesn't give you as much granular control. So I will explain that, though, quickly. So what I was going to do is I was going to leverage the fact that that's 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. You assign each of these just a integer value here within the declaration. And then what you could do is int start equals that. So what that would do, we've done that with our day length here. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10. If we were to use this here, we would just say we had min 300. This value would be 10. And then my thought there would be, okay, so it starts with a value of 10. We'll subtract the value of this, and then we can use that as our response value. But that does not leave you with much granular control. So we're going to continue on with this state machine mega switch statement. So if a human sees another human, I'm just going to return 0. That's an ignore it. If a human sees a monster, well, they're going to want to run away. I'm going to say minus, we're 8, so minus 4. And these are ranges you're going to want to predefine. If a human sees a small animal, it's going to be 0. Small carnivore, going to be 0. And so just to explain how these are working in my eyes, a negative value is run away. A positive value is chase after. So a human sees a medium. Well, actually, I'm going to do this quickly. So I'm going to pop that in. Large animal, we're not concerned about. A medium carnivore, I'm going to say, has like a -1. And a large carnivore is also going to be -4. Now, the reason for this is that's something that we're going to want to set as a Blackboard key for our behavior tree, because other evaluation is going to need to be done. It's going to be a case of, okay, we'll take the medium carnivore. It's like, okay, am I starving and need food? Like this -1 here, we're going to do some evaluation on that. And it's going to be a case of, this is a negative modifier for the ultimate end result of, is the target worth chasing? Is the target something I want to run away from? So what I'm going to do, again, just because there's a lot of repetitive typing here, all for the same thing, I'm going to go through and put in some base values for all of these here, and I will be back as soon as I'm done with that. Alright, so I've gone through and got all those set up. Let me just expand these quickly and run through them just to give you an example, because I'll explain how I came to these numbers a little bit. So as I mentioned, this is going to be a overall reactionary equation. So if the ultimate value we have here is a positive number, it's like, okay, we want to go towards it. If it's a negative number, we want to go away from it. And the extent of that negative is going to be how desperate the AI is to, or sorry, the extent of that value, I should say, is how desperate the AI is to go towards or go away from. So we've got here human, sees another human. Fear response is non-existent. If it sees a monster, so that would be a hypothetical, because I don't know if they're going to be in the game, but, well, I'm going to be adding them, but it's not going to be a predominant thing in there. It's going to be one survival scenario. Say a zombie. Okay. Human sees a small animal, doesn't really care. We're talking things like mice, rabbits. A small carnivore, that would be, I can't think of something that would be that small that's a carnivore off the top of my head. I know they exist, but it would be something like that. Medium animal, we'll say we're looking at, say, a deer or a dog. For the carnivore, you'd be thinking a wolf. So again, humans see a deer, it's not afraid of it. Well, on average. There's some people who obviously are. They have a fear of deer. It's apparently a phobia, but either way. You see a medium carnivore, you see a wolf, you're going to be a little bit, oh, that's a wolf. You see something like a cow or a horse or an elephant. That would be another one, extra large animal. It's going to, you're not overly afraid of them generically. You see something like a bear, you're probably going to need new underwear, sort of thing. One thing I've missed here, actually, and I need to add this into all of them, is a default 0. Return. Actually, no, that will, I don't need to do that. That is going to get caught by that one there. So, anyway, so that is that one there. That's the human. For the monster, so if it sees a human, it's like, I want to chase after it. If it sees another monster, I'm not too worried about it. Sees a small animal, I could chase it. It's a little small. Medium animal, a little more. Large animal, so much, because a little more because it's bigger. Small animals, the same. I'm not going to individually run through all of these, but you could pause and see what sort of values I'm going for here. Small carnivore. Medium animal, medium carnivore, large animal, and the large carnivore. And ultimately, if you get to a point where you're adding in a new creature type and it's not part of this list, you're going to hit well, ultimately, it's going to fall down to this point here. So as we've done already, logger get instance, add message, error level, warning. And then this is unknown combination of creature type. So what we've done here, and I'm actually going to be wrapping the episode up because we're coming up close to 30 minutes here. So what we've done, and I know we haven't done anything in editor for this episode, but unfortunately there's just a little bit more we need to do to get this behavior response out of the way. So what we've done here now is when a target is detected, doesn't matter what that is, we're going to want to do some work with a stimulus actually, because it could be a sight, could be a hearing. But right now, if the target is a TF character, we're going to go through and get I'm going to actually call this fear response for the purpose, because we're going to have to do some additional mathematics here. Now, next episode, we're actually going to set it up so that the AI will run away. But that will be just really quick based off this fear response. And then from that, we're going to probably have 2, 3, maybe even 4 episodes. That's a lot of code work that's going to be covering the additional sort of behavior we're going to want to have here. So, but as always, folks, thank you for watching. If there's any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Try to respond whenever possible. If it's a little too complicated for a YouTube comment, feel free to hop into the Discord. I'm on there pretty much constantly. I have Discord running on my phone, so even if I'm at work, I can still get messages. I may have to tell you I'll respond later, depending on what the issue is. But anyways, folks, thanks again, and I will see you in the next episode.